first, fast, accurate. With Jennifer Copeland and Rick Shutt. You're watching WSBT-22 News at 6.
Her public defender says a detective used psychological weaponry against a defenseless person.
It's now up to a judge to decide if that South Bend mother's confession to her son's murder should be thrown out. In a videotaped interview, Naisha Crockett confessed to shaking, kicking, and hitting her 11-month-old son until he stopped crying. But the next day, she took it all back. WSBT-22's Kelly Stopczynski is following this story for us tonight. And Kelly, that was in August 2014.
Hours, Rick, after Crockett called 911 to report her son wasn't breathing and turning blue. Her lawyer says a Metro homicide detective used intimidation, postured as a friend, and invaded Crockett's personal space. The defense says those and other extreme tactics forced Crockett to admit she killed her son rather than confessing on her own free will, adding she was already in a fragile state because she'd been physically abused and was very dependent on others for a place to sleep. And that's on top of what had just happened to her son. Prosecutors say the detective read Crockett her Miranda rights and went above and beyond what was required to comfort her. He also gave her several breaks and brought her water.
She believed that the only way that they would ever stop the interrogation and let her go back and see her child was if she gave them what they wanted, and they kept telling her they didn't want to hear that she was innocent. The only thing they wanted to hear was that she was guilty. She eventually gave it to them, and they arrested her.
The judge said she'll announce her decision about the confession next week. Crockett is also charged with aggravated battery on her other child, who is still alive and at a care facility. Court documents say Crockett initially told doctors her toddler Aliyah accidentally wrapped a scarf around her neck. That was 6 months before Micaiah's death. But during her interview with Homicide in August of 2014, she confessed that was not an accident. Aliyah is in a vegetative state. Crockett is set to go to trial for the death of her son and alleged abuse of her daughter next month. At the live desk, I'm Kelly Stopczynski, WSBT 22 News.